It's labeled Mallory. Perhaps another client of Mr. Harrison.
David, apologies for not being here to greet you. As the telephone in the castle is not working due to the recent storm, I have had to journey to the village to communicate with my office. Upon my return, I shall show you to the chapel where you can pay your respects to your father. Yours, Andrew Harrison.
Or maybe I'll just head to the chapel myself. Smoking a pipe? I thought that would be beneath her station.
David?
May I first apologize for my strange behavior last night? It's just that...
Think nothing of it. You were obviously tired from your travels. Least said, soonest mended.
I saw an old photograph of a boy in the other room. Something tells me she wouldn't be happy if she knew I had it in my pocket.
That was taken in 1894. Young Johnny, your father.
You can remember the exact year?
It's a funny thing when you reach my age. You can remember dates from decades ago.
But not what you had for breakfast.
Maybe others can't.
Who, may I ask, were the others in the picture?
That would be your Aunt Clara and your late great-grandmother, the last true Countess of Scahandew House. And my dear Edward, of course.
I noticed my father had a scar on his face. How did that happen?
Falling from a tree, perhaps? I can't recall. But your father was a clumsy child.
Can't recall. But you remember the date the photograph was taken? What kind of man was my grandfather?
Oh, he was magnificent. He was handsome, so handsome, and caring.
Caring enough to knock a defenseless child down the stairs.
All was so very different when he was around.
This may seem like an unusual question.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't, dear boy.
Have I ever been here before? Is it possible I visited as a child and can no longer remember?
Oh no, you are a stranger to these walls.
And I have a feeling you prefer it stayed that way. The maid. She seemed to be acting strangely, like she was frightened of me.
Yes, well, she's a simple sort, that one. As the locals like to whisper about.
Curse? What curse?
Just a peasant superstition. I would guess she was worried you'd show the same displays of unpredictable violence as your father did.
I never knew my father to be the violent type.
Oh, there are many things you do not know about your father. This is his doing.
What? But how?
I'd rather not discuss it, David. And that maid should really keep her mouth shut and locate the earring she lost. She's like a magpie with shiny, expensive things.
I shall take my leave, Lady Margaret.
Yes. Oh, and David, the master of the house needs to respect the privacy of those under his roof. Even your father understood that. Sometimes a cabinet is locked for a reason.
I was looking for some documents and Andrew had already gone to bed.
I would still appreciate you respecting the rules of this house. You're not its owner quite yet.
Maybe you want to have something to ask her about. Maybe you want to have something to ask her about. Some fresh air.
Master David.
You could tell it was me.
Your footsteps. I ken the walk of everyone here.
Wow, that's rather incredible.
Aye, that it is, laddie. That it is. I hear better than most. See more than most and all.
Father had a similar toolbox. Back when he still fixed things around the house. Father had a similar toolbox. Back when he still fixed things around the house. When you talked about what they did to my father, what did you mean?
You shouldn't have come back. You canna go through what he did as a bairn and no be sick.
So his hospitalization was justified then?
Not for me to say. Before you think of putting down roots here, you should think on what the poison grown here did to your father. You can?
No, not really.
If you dinna mind, this door'll no mend itself.
I'll leave you to it then. A steady enough vessel, if you trust your swimming skills. Nobody left to mourn the dead or care for their graves, it seems. I've seen this before. In the painting. This is the grave I saw in that waking dream or whatever it was. The grave my father buried something in as a boy. Who's buried here? If I could just... these vines are too thick. I need something to cut through these. I need something to cut through these. May I borrow your bolt cutter?
Maybe. If I ken what you need it for.
The graves. I would like to tidy them up. That way I can pay my respects properly.
Is that a fact? Why's that then?
They are my family. They deserve to be remembered.
Fair enough, laddie. Just grab it yourself, will ye?
Better. Cecilia Shaw Nee Gordon. Aunt Cecilia. Now, let's see if there's something really buried in here. Another piece of the castle model. Another part of the model, and it's stained with what seems to be old blood. Why did Father bury this when he was a child? The family chronicles must be in here somewhere. Being the chronicle of the family Gordon, as laid down by Sir Drummond Gordon, the year of our Lord, 1413.
Local legend speaks of this particular glen as being inhabited from time immemorial. Enigmatic, elaborately carved Pictish stones stand as timeless evidence of this. As for the locals, they appear prideful of the counsel they delight in giving to visitors. Traveler, beware. The Celtic peoples arrived in this place like a great beast, bringing with them the bloodlines that would eventually spawn the Gordon clan. Using their superior numbers, knowledge, and machines of war, they swiftly conquered the primeval Picts. With them, they brought too their religion and druid clerics. The magics these wise men used did shape forever the lands, even until this present day. It is said that the sempiternal burden our family carries rose at that time. 'Tis well recorded how the Empire of Rome did fail to tame the wayward Scots, that they did even raise a barrier to protect their mighty empire. What is seldom told is the truth behind their defeat. Our ancestors drew upon ancient powers to aid their victory, powers not easily fathomed by the fragile human mind. This aid did come at the greatest of costs, a debt as yet unsettled, a price we will continue to pay until the last Gordon passes to dust. O'er the centuries, we Gordons made the land our own. Others did bow to us, as we kept the secrets of Skahandu, the secrets of the Black Mirror. Even as tragedy and madness did fester in our foundations, we held fast and steered the land through vile English attack and worse. In time, the Gordons and the land became one.
Some pages have been ripped out. The only thing left seems to be some kind of family oath.
In blood we are bound to the land we protect, to the truths we alone may conceal. I shall forfeit my life, lest my clan should suffer. I shall forfeit my spirit to hold the darkness at bay. In blood we are bound till the day of the reckoning.
Where's the call coming from? Is this what madness feels like? It can't be real. All this looks like the bottom of a lake. What are you trying to show me? How could I have known that something was buried here? I don't remember Father ever telling me about this grave. Father must have buried the chapel piece here for a reason when he was a boy. But why? And whose blood is it stained with? being the chronicle of the family Gordon.
Local legend. As for the locals, they appear prideful of the counsel they delight in giving to visitors. Traveler, beware. The Celtic peoples arrived in this place like a great beast, bringing with them the bloodlines that would eventually spawn the Gordon. Using their superior numbers, not with them, did what is seldom our or the lest till the day.
Is this? All this looks like the bottom of a lake. What are you trying to show me? She's not holding a baby, but some heavy object to weigh herself down. I feel like I've missed something. I feel like I've missed something. There's a fresh wound across her stomach. The figure up there must be Edward. A note. I'm taking my baby with me to save it from this rotten family.
Find my child! Are you all right?
Did you see her? She drowned.
Calm down, you are in shock. What were you doing clambering about in here?
If I told you, you'd think me mad.
Odd. That is just what your father said to me.
You knew my father. How?
I treated your father at the asylum. I'm Dr. Leah Faber.
The asylum?
Let's get you back to the castle and make sure you're okay.
What did you come here for?
I'm not sure your father's story is finished yet, and there are some things I still need to make my peace with.
What's this about an asylum?
As I said, your father was admitted.
Why? Who did that to him?
I did. But unfortunately, he managed to escape.
What? Hold on a minute. How dare you come in here and...
Told you? Your father was a madman. A complete and utter madman. Don't mind me. Please continue.
Well, what right did you have to lock my father up in a madhouse?
I was his doctor. I understand you are in shock, but you have no right to speak to me in such a way. I was trying to help him.
He's dead. Capital job.
Now, hold on just a minute.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, no!
Eddie, it'll be all right. Pull yourself together.
I suggest nobody else goes down there. We should keep the room intact until the police can get here.
I shall alert them first thing in the morning. What an unfortunate accident.
An accident? You think so? Just after the madman's son turned up at our door?
And yet you were the one standing over her body with blood on your hands.
How dare you? I was too late. I was trying to help her. She...
There, my sweet boy. Let's get you to bed. Angus, would you?
Of course, ma'am.
I think we will all benefit from a good night's sleep.
I know you may have no reason to, but I need you to trust me. I'm the only one on your side when it comes to your father's death.
Lady Margaret certainly isn't. But if I told you what I saw in the chapel, you'd have me in a padded cell, just like my father. Why did you come here? To make sure my father was successfully in the ground?
With all due respect, Mr. Gordon, I will not allow you to speak to me or about my work in such a tone. I tried everything I could to aid your father. Your father was heavily drugged when he was brought to me, to prevent any further violent outburst, or so Lady Margaret had said. But something felt wrong, even then.
So, what was my father like when you locked him up?
I didn't just lock him up. I tried to help him. He was convinced he was carrying some ancient curse, that he was being haunted by evil. I wish I had reached him, had been able to reach him.
Maybe if I threw you a bone, you'd get off my back. Father was obsessed with the history of the family for as long as I can remember.
Did your father actually believe his family was out to get him?
Who knows? I think what scared him was beyond the physical. He used to babble about a dark force threatening him and our family.
Was that why he moved you to India? To get as far away as possible?
I believe so.
And yet, here you are, in the very place he sought to protect you from.
Who knows? Maybe there is an ancient evil in this place. An evil that drags us back no matter how far away we get. Even from the other side of the world.
And what do you think? Was your father right? Are there things beyond the physical?
He was a disturbed man. He saw things that weren't there. Things like a drowning woman floating in thin air. If you really want to help me, then let us find out what the maid knew. She was hiding something, but was too scared of Angus and Margaret to tell me.
You think whatever she wanted to confide might be connected to her death?
Maybe. Whatever I saw in the chapel, it has to be real. It has to be. A woman must have drowned herself in the loch. Because if it's all in my mind, Father. After himself.
We need to examine the maid's body in the cellar.
To find out who killed her.
To be sure she was murdered before we start pointing fingers.
If you'd just like to wait out here, sir.
I need to speak with Eddie.
The young master and her ladyship are otherwise detained.
Might as well try moving a mountain out of the way. May I remind you, this is my house?
May I remind you that it is not yours yet?
Fair enough. There's no doubt about his loyalty, nor with whom it lies. Mr. McKinnon, Angus, may I have the key to the cellar?
You may not, sir. As Mr. Harrison said, it will remain locked until the police arrive.
That's a fair point. I'm just concerned that some of the game in the cellar may have been caught illegally, poached by young Eddie there.
Well,
I'd be happy to get rid of the evidence. I can't imagine that the owners of the neighboring estate would be best pleased.
you think the House Gordon cares what they think?
The owners of the land...
We have Master here.
For Eddie to be found poaching on another family's estate could prove embarrassing.
You're barely part of this family, but you have a point.
I'm the new owner of the estate. I worry what people will say about it. About the family.
I think the dead maid will have...
I do, and I don't think Lady Margaret would take kindly to any such embarrassment.
Upon reflection, removing the evidence may be the best course of action. Here you are, sir.
Good thing I found that map. He would have never given up the cellar key otherwise.
What a horrific way to die. Her neck's been broken, and with some considerable force, it seems. Her necklace looks like gold, albeit a plain design, and it's missing any form of pendant.
Still, well beyond a maid's salary. It...
Where's that sudden draft coming from? Mr. Gordon? Speak to me, please.
Her clothes. He ripped a seam open. The missing pendant. He threw it into the blood-filled basin.
David, can you hear me? Her neck's been broken, and with some considerable force, it seems. Her necklace looks like gold, albeit a plain design, and it's missing any form of pendant.
Still, well beyond a maid's salary. It...
Where's that sudden
is
draft
here,
coming from?
my little doe.
Little doe. Not exactly the usual way to address the staff. The missing pendant. He threw it into the blood-filled basin.
Mr. Gordon? Speak to me, please.
Her clothes. He ripped a seam open.
We're all here, sir. All down in the dark. Something's coming. The attic, sir. She's in the attic.
What just happened? You look like you were in some kind of trance.
Perhaps the lack of sleep is affecting me. Or the visions that you think me insane if I describe them to you.
You need to learn to trust me. I am on your side, remember?
So you say. But I remember you locked my father up too. A tiger can't change its stripes.
Ugh, that's horrible.
You're not the one with your hand in it. French. I don't speak French.
I do. It says for Clara, forever yours. Who's Clara?
I don't know. Yet another relative, perhaps?
We should ask someone who's been around here for longer. How did you know it was there? The pendant, I mean.
If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. A hunch. Eddie gave this to her. We should ask him to his face just what his relationship was with her.
This isn't another ghost story, is it?
Look, you wouldn't understand. I can't...
What I do understand is that we cannot accuse a man of murder without proof.
They seem to be a house full of carnivores. The scene really did rip when she tried to get away from him.
What is it?
I'll get you back.
Stop monkeying around. Come with me.
I'll come inside in a bit.
Don't go.
Can I just have a few
It's
more
not a request, Carol.
Don't worry. I'll be fine.
What's happening to me?
David? Is everything all right?
We should make haste. Do you know who Clara was?
I know who she was, aye.
And?
Young Eddie is her bairn. Lady Mallory, as she was. She stayed on in the house after Victor passed, but she wasn't here much before. I didn't ken her that well.
I'll speak to you later, Rory.
Aye, I'm sure you will, laddie.
Oh, stunning. How curious. Come and look at this. Look, they form a clear circle.
This can't be a fluke.
Well, looks like one of the stones is missing.
A heavy enough stone to weigh yourself down with. Something's carved into each one. I've never seen a rose like this before.
I have. The gardener, Rory. He brought some down from the glass house.
Are you convinced yet?
We need more than a first name.
There are some strange markings carved into the stones on the shore.
Runes, aye. I'm old-fashioned, I suppose. Still hold to the old ways.
Superstitions don't gain validity just by being believed in for a long time.
I'd watch that. Your precious science doesn't have all the answers, lassie.
That's an unusual-looking rose. I noticed one lying by the side of the loch.
Aye, that's been me. A flower for the flower of Skahandu, Cecilia.
My aunt? They're for her?
I grew 'em for her. She loved the roses, did Cecilia. No the red ones, though. Made her think of blood, ye ken.
Forgive me, but wouldn't it be more fitting to place them on her grave?
Why, she's no there, is she, laddie? That's not where she rests. And I don't much stand by your modern god.
Rory, what happened to her? What happened to Cecilia?
I'm not in the mood to open old wounds, laddie.
May I have some of the roses, Rory? I'd like to place them on Cecilia's grave.
What's she to you? You didn't ken her?
No, I didn't. But she's family. And besides, Father always spoke fondly of her. He would even smile as he talked about playing in the gardens with her as a child.
He did he? Aye, well, that's good to ken. I should have some left in the glass house.
I'll speak to you later, Rory.
Aye, I'm sure you will, laddie. Sorry, lassie, but you can't go in. It's for family only.
Just hold on a moment.
No, it's okay. I quite understand. You go ahead, and I'll wait here for you, if I must.
Aye, you must. I know, it doesn't look like I have green fingers.
Are these...
Aye, Cecilia's roses.
They're beautiful.
I like to think so.
But they seem to be the only thing that grows here.
Looking to break some more locks, laddie.
These are dead as dodos.
Hard to raise anything beautiful here, ever since Cecilia's gone.
Can you tell me about Cecilia? What was she like?
She was a lovely lassie, but she had more than her share of troubles.
Grandfather Edward.
You ken well enough, son.
You said she wasn't in her grave.
Aye, that I did.
Did she drown?
She did. Killed herself. Her body was never found. Now all I have of her is my memories. And they are not what they were. And this.
That is exquisite. Cecilia made this.
She made it, aye. For me. Girl must have cut her fingers 100 times doing it. On the thorns, ye ken.
You are unworthy of the name Gordon.
Get away from her, you coward!
He scratched the word Baron into her arm. What a monster.
Get lost!
You monster!
Who is that old woman? It takes courage to confront Edward like that.
They lied to me.
Who did?
All of them. It's me.
I saw an old lady. She wore a long, flowing dress. Her voice was strong, determined.
Sounds like Rosemary. She were Lady Margaret's mother.
What just happened?
You talk to yourself, throwing your arms about like you were fighting something. I couldn't see what. You started bawling and the lassie came in to see what was going on. She tried to settle you, but you just went for her.
Was Cecilia not able to have children? Did that anger Grandfather Edward?
Maybe you can see well enough too, son. Maybe you can. It wasn't her, it was her husband. He was the bother. Couldn't, you ken?
I think so, yes.
Aye, well, Edward blamed Cecilia for it, for picking the wrong man for her mate. You'll be fine, laddie. You just need some fresh air. This place can get to ye.
The crack is right there. Edward was furious. Seems like him and great-grandmother Rose didn't see eye to eye. The secateurs should be... Here they are. How could I know? This seems awfully accurate for a forgotten memory.
Trust your instincts, laddie.
David, are you all right?
I'm fine, thank you. I think this place is starting to get to me. I think that Edward may be responsible for the death of my Aunt Cecilia. Not directly. She drowned herself in the loch. I think that Edward drove her to it.
Old families usually have a skeleton or two in the cupboard.
Yes, but my family has a graveyard full. I feel like the madness that runs through this family, through these walls, is starting to seep into me too.
I can help you, but you need to open up. You need to start talking to me.
You would not believe me if I told you.
Stubborn, just like your father.
Whatever secret this family is hiding, it's costing lives. Cecilia, the maid. My father. God knows how many more over the years. Are you convinced yet?
We need more than a first name.
Nobody in this house is particularly chatty, not even when I have an actual question for them. There's no doubt about his loyalty, nor with whom it lies. If Eddie really gave her that pendant, he might be her killer, and I might not be losing my mind.
Are you convinced yet?
We need more than a first name.
The belongings of Eddie's mother.
Recognize that?
The necklace. Is that...
A young Eddie and his mother Clara.
I regret to inform you that your husband, Corporal Victor Mallory, number 874511, was killed in action with the enemy on the day of the 14th of September in Ypres. Your husband was involved in an advance against enemy lines. While he and his fellow soldiers fell, the action was successful, and you can take comfort in knowing his sacrifice saved many lives. It was not possible to get his remains away, and he was buried in a soldier's grave. Please accept the condolences of all the company. Yours, Captain Arthur Jones, 4th Army.
Thank you for your last letter. My heart soars with every word of yours I read. I touch the ink and imagine your fingers are just inches from mine, that we can almost touch, that I can almost feel the warmth of your skin once more. Young Edward grows more like his father each day. You'd be amazed how he shares your looks. I long for the day that this terrible war is ended and you return home to us so we can be a family once more. I shall write to you again soon. Know that until then you are always in our hearts. Your loving wife, Clara.
The date. She was writing this when the death notice arrived. Oh, the poor woman. You see? The necklace was his mother's. He gave it to the maid. The maid!
You're right. We need to speak to him about this. But how could you know this? I can't help you if you don't tell me.
Cousin Eddie might be a murderer. How I draw my conclusions can wait for now. Eddie, I need to ask you about the maid. About Ailsa.
You didn't know her!
I know that you and her were... That is to say, I know you had feelings for her.
What? That's poppycock! You're as deranged as your father was!
David, really? You go too far with this behaviour.
The police will be here soon. Would you not prefer to clear this up before they get here in case they link Eddie with the crime?
Now look here, young lady. How dare you speak?
That's enough. Eddie. You gave her this. It was your mother's.
I did. It was.
Eddie!
I was just trying to cheer her up. She has nothing, and I had no need of it. You know she sends... You know she sent most of her money home to her grandmother.
Her clothing was ripped, as if someone was trying to force themselves upon her.
I would never have hurt her.
My little doe. Strange thing to call the help.
How? It was just harmless fun, that's all.
You're a worthless liar. You think she thought being pressed against a dead animal was harmless fun?
How do you know? It's true. Elsa and I would never have laid a finger on her. We were in love. I helped her with everything, even with her chores. Rose and...
That's quite enough. Eddie, you are obviously upset. And you are not helping, David. Angus, will you please take the young master upstairs?
As you say, Mum.
I think you have caused quite enough disruption here. We shall settle this heritage dilemma first thing tomorrow.
I don't think so. I have more questions now than ever. About my father, the maid, this whole damn house.
Have a care, David. Need I remind you of your father's temper?
I would never.
Given the current mental state of Master Eddie, who should be a part of the heritage considerations, any discussion on the topic would be futile at this point. Would you not agree?
Thank you, Leah. Maybe it's a good thing you're here after all.
Impudent brats!
What's going on?
Did you notice when Margaret got angry?
When Eddie mentioned chores involving Rose. What does that mean?
It can only have something to do with Lady Rosemary and Aunt Cecilia, and whatever the maid was doing in the attic.
The attic?
I saw the maid coming down the stairs with a tray, but there's nothing up there but an empty room, or so I thought.
Interesting. What is it, David?
I have to see.
David, wait! You have to start confiding in me, David. What are you seeing?
I'm not sure. Ghosts? Echoes? Memories? I can see my father as a child. It's like he's trying to speak to me.
Perhaps you visited here as a child. Maybe you're remembering stories your father told you of this place when you were young.
You see? I said you wouldn't believe me. I know what I saw, and I know I will find out what's going on here. What they are hiding from me.
We will. Together.
So?
So, we focus on the facts as we know them.
Go on.
You saw the maid's body. Her neck was broken. That was the work of a human, not a ghost, yes?
I suppose so, yes.
Lady Margaret knows more than she's saying, that's for sure.
Godspeed getting anything out of that old hag.
No, I know. But Eddie might be an easier option.
Yes. Yes, we need to find him. And make sure Margaret isn't there to interrupt.
I believe she's already gone to bed, but I'll check. You go find Eddie.
Well, that's clear enough.
Well, hello, my dear Elsa. Oh, Sir Edward, you look very handsome today.
Eddie?
Why, thank you. You're as beautiful as ever, my little doe. Oh, mwah, mwah.
Eddie, can you hear me? What can you tell me about great-grandmother Rose? What did Elsa have to do? Eddie! Self-made dolls. Ugh. The stuff of nightmares. What do you see here, Eddie?
Quite safe, the little rabbit said to his brothers and sisters. The fox is fast asleep, so the rabbits tiptoed past, and the fox was sly. He wasn't asleep at all. He opened his yellow eyes.
I've warned you before to mind your place. This will be the last time you defy me.
The eyes of the fox, they shone with cruel light as he punched on the rabbits and ate them all one by one. It was only then he went to sleep, his tummy full, his heart content.
I wonder what's on the other side. Is there... no, can't see a switch or lever. I guess not all castles are like Edgar Allan Poe used to describe them. A secret passage.
What do you think you're doing?
That won't be long, I hope. Look after Eddie. Just a little further.
Damn it!
That's it. Open wide. Good, good.
I don't want any.
That's all right, dear. Did I tell you that John's son David has arrived? He's as bothersome as his father. Not worthy of this place. Poor from fisherman.
Please, don't.
I do not enjoy this, as you well know, but you brought it on yourself. Your son was a good man. You should not have defied him.
Rosemary. Oh my God. She's barely skin and bones. How is she still alive?
I found the wooden switch. It was in the bookcase.
You scared me half to death.
Well, you will insist on wandering off without telling me where you're going, and I just managed to avoid Lady Margaret when... Jesus God!
I saw this.
In a vision?
Edward beat her with it. Used it to cripple the poor woman.
Oh my God. And he hung it there to remind her every day. Take it down.
You're sure?
Do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rose? Rosemary? Can you hear me? Rose? Rose? Rosemary, I'm David, John's son, your great-grandson.
Here, try this. No, like this. Gently.
Who did this to you?
Edward. I was bad. I disobeyed.
Disobeyed? How did you disobey?
Cecilia. I tried to stop him. Stop what he was doing.
What was he doing, Rosemary?
Should not have disobeyed. Not disturb him in the old wing. Never talk back.
Rose! Rose! What did he do to Cecilia?
I don't think you'll get anything more out of her. Poor woman. Come on, Lady Rosemary. We'll get you out of here.
No!
We can get you somewhere safe.
I'm Safe here, in this room. Safe from the Black Mirror.
The Black Mirror. Margaret has a lot to explain. I think we need to have words with her ladyship. Margaret, we need to talk about...
Lady Margaret, if you please.
Never mind that. What the hell are you doing with Rosemary?
You're one to talk. You're just like your father, leaving nothing but fear and misery in your wake.
What in God's name are you talking about?
Eddie, did you not? Now he's convinced everyone is trying to kill him. He has taken poor Andrew hostage and is threatening his life.
Where is he?
He's taken him to the old wing, and he is armed.
I'll go. I can talk to him.
You will not. You two have caused quite enough trouble already.
We? How dare you, when you continue to worship Edward, even though he drove poor Cecilia to drown herself?
I will not allow you to...
To what? To speak the truth? To say that Edward...
He never touched her! You come here, and you...
No, you. You are the one in the wrong here. You know more than you're saying, and we both know it. There's something in this place. An evil that has plagued our family for generations. Instead of blaming others, maybe you should look closer to home for the cause of your misfortune.
You know nothing. What I did, what I do, everything is for this family. How can you possibly understand?
Please, my lady, we can discuss this later. Miss Farber, you need to speak to Master Eddie.
Take us to him.
This way. Have a care in the old wing. It isn't used, and for good reason. A section of wall fell into the sea some years back, and the rest is falling to ruin. Over there, sir.
Eddie?
No! No! They're after me! All of them! Trying to kill me! No! Please help!
Eddie, look at me, Eddie, just at me. It's going to be all right.
Stay back here. I'll try to reason with him.
You will not. This is what I do. Eddie? Talk to me, Eddie. Tell me what's troubling you.
Troubling me? He is! And David! They all are!
They all are what, Eddie?
What are you doing? One more accusing me! And I kill him! They think I killed her!
The maid, you mean?
But I didn't!
Oh, she's good.
I didn't!
She's keeping him distracted.
I believe you, Eddie. I believe you.
To dropping the gun. He seems too far gone for that. Oh, deep and wide. I might make it, but Eddie would see me. I might. He can't see me from here. This might be a way across.